Hi, this is Dave Kettlewell, your host of mastersofharmonica.com, and I thought what we would do is to deconstruct a harmonica a little bit to show you what's on the inside. Well, let's go over some of the parts that you can see. This is a cover, and this is a cover here. And you might say, well, what's the purpose of the cover? It gives you a place to hold, but even more than that, it actually is part of the creation of sound of the instrument. It's like the bell of a trumpet. The shape of the cover, the finish of the cover, and the metals that are used in the cover all affect the tone. This is a Seidel Saxony with stainless steel reeds. Very crisp, very bright sound from stainless steel reeds and these covers. Now, you have this part here, which is called the slide, and this, as you know, no matter whether you're drawing or you're blowing, it will raise the note a half tone. Okay, what's a half tone on a piano? 2 successive notes. So that's how the slide works. Then this piece right here, that's called the mouthpiece because it touches your mouth. That's the mouthpiece. And what's this? Well, this is something I don't have much use for in life. It's a comb, but it's a different kind of a comb. It's not a comb for hair. This is the comb of the harmonica, and it actually channels the air. And the reed plates that hold the reeds, and this is a reed plate and that's a reed plate, they actually go onto the comb. Well, let's deconstruct this harmonica, and I'll show you. So you take a screwdriver, and I use one of these jeweler's types, and I can take that screw out, and it's a 2-part screw nut combo here, and I'm going to have this apart. There's one on each end of the harmonica, and once these are off, the covers can be removed. And that does not damage the harmonica. To actually take off the covers is not a problem. So what have we got here? Well, this is the reed plate. Now, this particular instrument is a brass reed with a silver plating. It's actually a more complex alloy than just silver, but that is the reed plate, and the reed plate holds the reeds. And these things here, those are the reeds. And you might go, well, what are those little teeny little white things? Okay, those are the breath savers. And you'll notice when I play on a blow, those breath savers kind of pop open. So their purpose is to make the harmonica seal better when you're playing blows and draws so that more air affects the note. So you'll find them on both sides. Now, there are also reeds on the underside of the reed plate on top and bottom. So these are just half the reeds. The other ones are on the other side. You just can't see them. So I'm going to go ahead and put the cover back on, and you'll note that you want to have the cover part with the numbers for the holes on the top, and the others are on the bottom. So in other words, there's a top and a bottom on a cover set. So you just kind of line up the holes, and I put one through like that, then flip it over and hold it with my finger. And then I come here and I put in this little piece. Once I have these both in, then I just kind of tighten it down just a little bit, like that. Now, if you want to actually take the mouthpiece off, how do you do that? You just take the screwdriver here, and I usually set it on the table, and I actually unscrew the 2 screws like this, and then I lift it off, and you'll see that this is the mouthpiece. Now you want to be careful because there's screws still there, and there are these little what are called bumpers, which are teeny little plastic pieces that go around those screws. So you could lose those if you didn't know they're there. They are there, and you want to be aware of it, and there's one on each side. So that's the mouthpiece. And this is called a blank. And the blank is this piece that goes between the mouthpiece and on this instrument, the slide. And this is that slide, that button thing that you press, and it goes in and out, and these little holes make different channels open in the harmonica. The Seidel is unique because it actually has an H bar in it, and that's that metal piece, before you get to the comb here. So to reconstruct, you just put it back together again in reverse order, and you want to be careful because the slide has the spring, and the spring is right here, so the little holes for the spring have to go over it. So that goes like that. And then the next piece again was the slide, and the slide has a little teeny hole drilled in it that goes over the spring, so I line that up. And then I have the blank, and that goes on next, and you want to make sure they're very carefully lined up. And then I want to make sure with my fingers that these little bumper things I told you about are in the right place, and they are, and that the mouthpiece indent slot for that slide is in the right place, and it is. And I usually just kind of lay it like this on the one side, and I try to get one side started over here, just a little bit. Then I flip it around and push in the slide just a little bit with my finger so that the bumper can seat correctly. And I tighten up the instrument just gently. You don't really want to make these screws very tight. And sometimes you get them a little bit too tight, which I just did, so I'm going to back it out of here. And so that's how you take one of these apart, what they're all about. Mouthpiece, slide, covers, reed plates, reeds, breath saver, and comb. Thank you. Big question today. Are you going to learn to read music? I can relate to whatever fears you may have, because I didn't know how to read music until a few years ago, to really read it competently.